Hello, and welcome back to the Chess Problem Challenge. Today, we'll continue on our topic of checkmate by use of the double check. Here is problem 67. In this position, we have the white king on g1, we have the queen on a1, and we have the knight on e5. For black, we have the king on h8, we have the queen on g8, and we have the rook on f8, and pawns are on f7, g6, and h7. Now it's a good time to pause. Good luck. Okay, let's take a look. And there's actually two answers in this problem. Because the queen on a1 is on this long diagonal that's looking at the blocking on h8, but only the knight is blocking her. If we take the knight and capture the pawn on f7, the knight will be attacking the king, and the queen can be attacking the king. That's why the rook and queen for black cannot capture our knight, and this is checkmate. Another way would be to take the white knight on e5 and capture the black pawn on g6. Same story. The knight is attacking the black king, and the queen is attacking the black king. This is checkmate. Let's move on to problem 68. In this problem, we have the king on g1, we have the bishop on g2, we have the knight on d5, and for black, we have the king on a8, we have the queen on a6, and we have the black pawn on e7. There's also a white pawn on c7. Now, please pause and find checkmate in one move. Okay, let's take a look. The white bishop on g2 is on the same diagonal as the black king on a8. Only the knight is in its way. There's also a pawn on c7 that can go up and try to queen, but that would not be a good move. If we try to push the pawn up to queen in this position, the black queen would just eat us, no matter what piece we choose. So that will not be ideal. The best move here is to take the knight and put it on b6. This way the bishop is attacking the king and the knight is attacking the king. That's why the knight cannot be captured by the black pieces. The black king is stuck because he cannot go to b8 because of the white pawn on c7, and he cannot escape to the b7 square because the bishop is on g2. This is checkmate. Let's move on to our next problem, 69. In this position, we have the white king on g1, we have the rook a4, and the knight on f4. While for black, the king is on h4, the rook is on g8, another rook on g7, and the queen is on g3, and the black pawns are on h5 and h3. There's also a white knight on e6. Now it's a good time to pause and find the best move. Okay, let's take a look. This looks like a really bad position for white because they're down a queen. There's a whole bunch of pieces on the g file that's getting close to the white king, and the white king is even in check right now. So how do we checkmate the black king while our king is under attack? Simple. We use the double check. We take our knight we block the check from the black queen, and at the same time attack the black king with our knight and our rook on a4. This declares checkmate because the black king has nowhere to escape and has to give up. Let's move on to problem number 17. In this position, we have the king on a1, we have the knight on c4, we have the queen on h4, and we have a white pawn on a2. For black, the black king is on a4, the bishop is on g7, the queen is on c3, and the black knights are on a5 and a3. And there's also a pawn on b6 and a pawn on b5. Okay, good luck. Okay, let's take a look. Again, our king is basically looks like he's checkmated because the king cannot move anywhere and the black queen is attacking it. But double checks can make miracles, and this is exactly what happens here. Instead of white losing the game, they take their white knight, block the check, and declare checkmate themselves, because now the knight is attacking the black king and the white queen is attacking the black king. The black king is stuck and cannot move to a single square. This is checkmate. Let's move on to problem 71. In this problem, we have the king on g1, the rook on c7, the pawn on g7, while for black, the king is on h7, and the pawns are on h6, and the black rook is on h8, the knight is on g8, and the bishop on f8. Please pause now and find the double check checkmate. Okay, let's take a look. Again, black is up a lot of material, but that doesn't mean anything because white can checkmate the black king next move. If you look at the pawn on g7, the pawn can only go 2 squares. It could capture the rook on h8, but that will not be great because the black king will just eat whoever we promote to. But if the white pawn captures the bishop, there is one piece that we could choose that will create a double check and checkmate, and that is the knight. The knight not only attacks the king, but also opens up the rook to attack the king, creating the double check, and also covering the only escape route on g6. This is why the king is trapped, and this is checkmate. And now for problem 72. In this problem, I'm gonna set it up by castling, putting the rook on e1 and this knight on e4. Now taking the pawn away. Pawn was on d6, and now the position is ready for you. Please pause and good luck. Okay, let's take a look. In this position, it seems like the black king is safe because he has 2 squares to go on, e7 and d7. But double checks are very strong. And here, the rook is on the same file as the black king. If we take the knight and go to d6, it will create a double check, but it will not be checkmate because the black king can escape to g7. Fortunately, the knight can move the other way. And in this time, there is no protection for black. because they cannot block the e-file from the rook check because the knight is also attacking the black king. The black king cannot escape to d7 because the knight is positioned correctly on f6, blocking that escape route. And this is checkmate. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and now can use the double checks in your games. Bye bye.